If your dog loves to play with toys outside, but it snowed and that has changed the game, how do you pivot to make sure you're not losing toys outside and your dogs are not getting hurt while playing with those toys outside, but still allowing them to play with the things that they love? There are a couple of changes that I've made because Lucy adores playing with her rubber ball outside. It is the best thing in her entire life. It is the most important thing in the world to her. She loves to play with her rubber ball, and I love that thing because it is not going to break down very easily. It is the perfect size for her. It is so easy to clean, and it bounces really, really well. So I talk about it a lot. I'll link it down below for you. During the daytime, I still let her play with her normal rubber balls. I go for the dark colors, the purples, the dark blues, the greens, the ones that are going to stand out against the snow. Now, there's not much you can do if they're going to bury it in a snowbank. Lucy loves to shove it out from under the bars of our fenced-in yard into a snowbank and make me dig it out. But sometimes she actually bops it out like a dolphin as well, and I have to go find it in a snowbank somewhere. Having those darker colors stands out against the snow. That helps me a little bit more. The glow-in-the-dark or the light-colored ones blend in with the snow. That becomes a problem for me. However, in the hours when it is not bright outside, meaning the early morning, the later afternoon, and the nighttime hours, that is when I pull out the glow-in-the-dark ball. And I make sure that I have it really well lit. So I expose it to light a lot before we go outside. And when it loses its glow outside, I hold it up to our solar lights or the flashlight on my phone to make it glow green again so that it glows in the snow. Whenever she buries it or it gets tossed out, I can very easily see it. I also like the idea of having things that flash. So even in the daytime, this can help a little bit. You want to find some type of toy that's going to flash. You remember how when we were little kids and we had those sneakers where when you walked, they just lit up and flashed everywhere? They make toys like that. I just got one for my dogs. And those are going to help you to see them easier in the snow. When you look for the flashing, changing lights, even if the color blends in a little bit, even if the light is not super bright, it's going to help from getting lost in the snow. So having things that glow and having things that flash are going to be really helpful, especially when it's not super bright outside, but even a little bit for the flashing one when it is bright outside. And having those dark, bold colors will definitely help during the daytime to find them a little bit easier. Now, Gemma loves to play with Frisbees, and what I found with the snow is that if the Frisbee lands face up, or the face down the correct way, the way you would hold it to throw it, it's really hard for her to pick it up. She has to slam her face into it to get it up from the snow if it gets stuck in the snow at all, or if she steps on it, or if anything happens, it can be difficult for her to get a hold of. So tossing it the opposite so that it is the flat part down and then the edges are up, that will help her to get a better grip when it lands, even if she kind of steps on it into the snow. But making sure I'm doing Frisbees with her that have more of an edge to it, more of that lip, will help more significantly. So having things that are a little bit more flat means it's going to be more difficult for her to get her mouth around if it's on the ground. So I want something that's going to be very easy for her to pick up. Is it the most functional for flying? Maybe yes, maybe no. It depends on the one that you are going to get. And I want to make sure that I have things that are very easy on her teeth. So I don't want anything that's too terribly hard. You can get some things that are rubber that have holes in the center. There's options for you, but the brighter colors are going to be better for the snow. And the more of a lip it has on the side, the easier it's going to be for them to pick up. So you want to be mindful of colors. You want to be mindful of lights. You want to be mindful of how they're going to pick it up if it falls in the snow or if they pounce on it in the snow and kind of bury it in the snow. All of this means you do have to be extra careful of them while you're out playing. Watch where those toys are going. Make sure you keep your eyes on them. Maybe don't try to do multitasking with this. So if you're cleaning off your driveway or if you're getting the snow off of your roof, this is maybe not the time to give them toys if you're not going to be super mindful of them. Bring those out later and let them play with the snow on its own while you are also doing other things. So making sure that you're paying attention, getting toys that are not going to hurt them, and making sure that you have toys in colors or in lights or in some shape, way, or form that allows you to easily find it in the snow or more easily find it in the snow is going to work to your benefit. You want to make sure things that are easy to clean are the things you're taking outside because they're going to get covered in wet snow, slush, ice, and whatever mud and stuff is below that snow. So you want to make sure things that are easy to clean and wipe off before you bring them back in your house or leave them outside. And we are not leaving our toys outside. We are not leaving toys outside in the snow. We do not want them freezing. We don't want ice there. We don't want anything that could potentially hurt our dogs' mouths, teeth, etc. So do not leave those toys outside. Bring them inside or have some kind of shelter for them outside if you don't want to bring them inside. So have a bin, have a tote, have something that you can put them in to keep them safe from the elements, even if they're not coming into the house. And then I highly recommend, what I do is I keep my toys in the house. I will not keep them outside because there's just too many variables outside. I will bring them in and I'll clean them off and make sure they're nice and dry before we go back outside. So if you've washed them, rotate it out with another toy the next time you go, just to make sure it's completely dried and you're not going to be taking moisture out there to then freeze and cause problems while you are playing. If you want examples of toys that you can be using, I'll link some down below. I'll link the things that I use with my girls, but there's lots of options for you out there. I recommend the bright colors, the flashing lights, and the glow-in-the-dark things, depending on the time that you're taking your dogs out. And then be very mindful as you're playing to make sure that nothing is going wrong. If you see that they're struggling with it or potentially could be risking their teeth getting hurt as they're picking things up or carrying them around, take that toy away, give them something else, play with some snowballs, play in the snow, toss the snow in the air. There's lots of alternatives to playing with toys in the snow because the snow itself is a fantastic way to play with your dogs and enrich what you're doing with them. Follow along for more tips and tricks on how to navigate the snow, how to navigate traveling with pets, taking your pet photos and videos, your content creation, and making sure your pet is living their best possible life as you are being the best possible dog parent that you can be. We're answering your questions here on our daily videos to make sure that we are living the best dog parent lives we can. We'll see you in the upcoming episodes.